So without further ado, I would like to begin the Global Emerging Leaders Award Ceremony 2022 by inviting our chief guest of the day, Mr. R. Ramanan, the former Mission Director, Atal Innovation Mission, and Additional Secretary to Niti Aayog, Government of India, to address the gathering. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Mishma, and thank you, GCPIT, for once again giving me an opportunity to share a few thoughts on this very, very important occasion of recognizing young global emerging leaders. Indeed, during my lifetime, I have had the opportunity, the privilege, and the inspiration of many leaders, not only from the private sector where I served in the Tata Group, and of course, all of you know the illustrious people who have created so much of not only values, but also wealth for the country. I've been inspired by them, but also from the public sector, where I had the opportunity to work at the Niti Aayog as the mission director, the first mission director of the Heartily Innovation Mission. There are also a number of people in the international community who I have had the opportunity to interact with. And one of the things that I have learned observing these great leaders with whom I've had the privilege are a few points that I would like to share with every one of you, because they are so very important and they have been so relevant in my own life. First and foremost, the leader lights the path for many of us to be able to follow a higher purpose, a higher goal, a higher ambition, something larger than ourselves, something that we would not otherwise venture to believe that we can do it ourselves. But a leader is able to not only light the path, but also inspire everybody through their own actions, his or her actions, that path. And that is what makes it so meaningful, so relevant, and so much possible and feasible for every one of us. They encourage all of us in that path to be able to dream more, to be able to act more, to become more, and to be able to commit more to a higher cause, a nobler goal, whatever be that goal, whether it is in the public arena, whether it is in the private sector, whether it is for an organization, whether it is for a society, or whether it is for the country. And that is what the leader inspires. The second is, not only do they light the path, but they energize and they enthuse everybody on that path by leading by example. Now, that is very important. You can preach, and if you don't practice, you don't become a very effective leader. And so the practicing and the preaching have to go simultaneously, so that people are able to see that what they are facing as challenges are actually being met by the leader very creatively and leading by example. Not only that, the leader often is the coach behind the scenes. They're not there trying to create a name for true leaders, great leaders. I have always found that they always put the team in front of them. And that is why you'll see the coach in the background, and the football team, which is winning the game, and all the players get recognized, but the coach has set the framework, the standards, the methodology for the others to be able to practice and allow their own expressions, creative expressions, to flower and blossom under that particular framework. That's what great leaders do. The third is, leaders, great leaders, not only fuel your aspiration and ambition to become more and dream more, but they also inspire in you the ability and the agility and the actions necessary in order to achieve that goal. Now, that's very important. So in that process, you will see great leaders infusing a tremendous belief in yourself. The great Swami Vivekananda said, as many of you know, that if you do not have belief, if you have belief in 1,000 gods and goddesses, but do not have belief in yourselves, you are doomed. Great leaders enable you to infuse that belief. Yes, I can, said Obama. And that's how he became the president of the country. And he's inspired millions of people in the United States, Blacks, who never thought that they would have the opportunity to become leaders, to now become leaders in a country like the United States. The fourth is, the leader inspires dedication as well as discipline. You know, you can have dedication, but if you do not have the necessary discipline and the necessary actions in order to implement that discipline, you will not be able to ensure that you meet the goals that you are seeking out to do. The leader, great leaders that I have seen, they not only are great communicators and they do it passionately, The communication is not necessarily verbal. Like I said, communication can happen through action and through leading by example. They're not necessarily the most flamboyant speakers on the horizon, but they inspire people with that few words. A few words and the actions accompanying them inspires millions. And that is what great leaders do. And that's what I have found, that young emerging leaders who are now out there in the platform being recognized, they also ensure that people get recognized for what they do, not taking credit. If you are taking credit all the time for all the people who are surrounding yourselves with and who are actually doing the necessary steps to achieve the higher goal, the higher purpose, the higher ambition that all of us have, then you do not become a great leader. So great leaders not only are able to empathize, inspire dedication and inspire discipline, but they also inspire great determination in the people so that the cause continues to live long after they have gone. You will see great leaders continue to inspire much beyond their own lifetime. The next thing is, great leaders ensure that they empathize with people. You see, we all want, everyone wants our best to be displayed, but there are many who need to be held along the path. And the great leaders, and I hope all the emerging leaders, cultivate this nature of empathy. And when you have empathy and you have communication, then you are able to lead everybody on the way, not just a few people whom you have chosen. It is not just with the chosen few that the leader chooses to work, though he or she may be implementing through a few people who are around them, but they inspire everyone. And finally, great leaders are very resolute. They are very resolute in the achievement of their goal. And this resolution and this determination enables them to creatively address many challenges, many hurdles that come along the way in the achievement of that goal. We all know what the great Mahatma Gandhi did. We all know what Nelson Mandela did. We all know the various people who have influenced our lives, the great spiritual leaders, the great corporate leaders, or the great public leaders who have given their lives in a resolute manner, in a determinate manner, to be able to creatively address so many challenges that came in their path. And finally, a great leader always works towards the benefit of a society, and therefore they instill values which are very noble in nature, values that you do need to have to create better people, a better version of the people than what they are, to create a better planet in which we can live in, to create a better society in which we can all flourish and we can grow. I do want to congratulate every one of you young emerging leader who is being recognized today. Your work is outstanding and therefore you are being recognized. And I do hope that you all inspire many, many leaders. And I want to thank GCPIT for creating this platform for recognizing leaders, because that's what we need. And finally, I want to end that every one of us has leadership qualities. It is not, nobody is born a leader. You have the leadership qualities. You have to find the area, the interest and the goal with which you are passionate about, or on which you are passionate about, and you would automatically unleash that leadership quality necessary for the achievement of that particular goal. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to share a few thoughts on this occasion.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ramanan, for joining us and for that inspirational start to this award ceremony today. Thank you so much again for joining us.